release now. No, you think I'm scared of smoke? Do it, I dare you. He ain't folding. I gotta think of another way. Sign the contract release or I will blow up your car collection. I don't care. I can buy them back tomorrow. I'm not signing. Sign the contract or I will pour out all the lean bottles that exist in Atlanta. Boy, that prison time messed up your memory. I'm clean off that shit. You're the one that sees addicted. I think I know what I need to do. Jesus, no! Please! Stop it! I can't stand hearing him. I'll do anything, please! Okay, I'm signing. You're released from your contract. Please don't make me listen to Jeezy again. Hell yeah, I got released from the contract and I robbed him off his jewelry as well. Man, how did the feds find about this? Who snitched? Did Gucci?
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The thoughts, views shared here are just that, views. We just conversing, sharing perspective while having fun. So don't take this shit personal and definitely don't try this at home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get to it.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's poppin'? Make sure y'all refer back to that trigger warning if I say anything foolish during this episode. We about to touch bases on a few topics and have a good time, man. You know, this week was crazy. But before we get into the conversation and I tell y'all the rundown of the topics and stuff, I want to say a few things that I'm very appreciative for. You know, when it comes to creativity, everybody has their own things that they like. Everybody has a preference of, you know, art that they like. When it comes to painting pictures, shoes, clothes, music preferences, content preferences, you know, everybody has their own preference. And I just want to thank and give a round of applause to all the people that support me. Real spill. You know, when it comes to creativity, you have friends, family members, and people that you think is just going to off top support you because of who you are and what you perceive to be in their life. And that's just not the case. And I just want to say, you know, keep going in anything that you're doing and not getting support from the people that's around you or in your circle. Keep going. Never stop. Because there's somebody out there that's going to value your perspective. It's somebody out there that's going to value your art. It's somebody out there that's going to value whatever you creating. And the people that's in your inner circle right now, they may not see the vision. Let's get along in the conversation, man. You know, this week, Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane was viral the whole week. You know, Artemis 2 took off and the United States is headed towards the moon. We're trying to create a space there so we can be there permanently. And we being challenged, but we're going to get into that conversation about NASA and the moon and Trump and things like that. Also, you know, Big Meech released his first interview, and I got some clips from that. We got to talk about that also. It was a topic of conversation that the Democrats want to give reparations to migrants. You know, that's spooky when the foundation of Black Americans haven't received their reparations yet. Meek Mill and Charlamagne the guy going back and forth. I'm about to touch bases on that and get into that conversation because I find it interesting. Jaden Ivey was cut from the Chicago Bulls, fired, whatever you want to say, in the sports realm. We're going to talk about that. Also, I want to converse about Memphis and NBA players talking down on Memphis. I may be in the Carolinas right now, but Tennessee is my home state, and I love Tennessee. You know, Tennessee is a place that really is dear and near to my heart. So I got a conversation about that. Real talk. But before we get into the show, let's create the vibes, man. You know, Ye was outside last night at SoFi Stadium. He was outside. So let's get into the conversation. Let's get into the vibes. And thank y'all for supporting me. Real spill. Hey, that song was actually hard for me to turn off, man. When I did my reaction to that last week, I didn't know how special that song was. Last night, I was looking at the performance that Ye put out at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, and he did the stream on YouTube. And, you know, what was crazy is I never seen nobody perform for 4 hours. Like, he got so many. The average album is, it used to be 60 minutes. It's like 45 now, 45 minutes. This man had 4 hours of hits. He packed the football stadium out at premium prices. You know, it's unprecedented, the sound quality and the quality that was being presented in hip hop form. I know a lot of people have negative things to say about Kanye West. He has said a lot of things. He has put himself in awkward positions. He has led with his ego. But when it comes to his artistic side, it may sound like that I'm, you know, nut hugging, or it may sound like that I'm, you know what I mean, being a little bit too supportive, or it may sound like I'm a fan or whatever, though, when I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But I'm being objective here because, you know, he isn't the best rapper. He isn't the best lyricist. He doesn't have the street persona and all of that old type of stuff. But it ain't nobody that got a catalog like Ye in the hip hop community. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my personal favorite album of all time. It's the total package. Pause. Bars, beats, lyricism. It's just, it's a lot. It's the total package. It's not even close. Nobody is even close to that album, to me, as one of the best albums of all time. Watching that 4-hour performance last night, it tripped me out, man. It tripped me out. I want to play one of the highlights before I further the discussion. One of the highlights of the show, this is one of them. You know what was crazy about that? As I was watching that, I was thinking about the previous Super Bowl performances and Ye not ever performing at the Super Bowl. Like that show he did last night that was 4 hours long in a football stadium made me feel like, you know, hey man, Kendrick, Bad Bunny, Rihanna, all of them, man, they can't handle that boy. They can't hold a candle to that boy when it comes to putting on a show. And I'm going to tell y'all why. You know, when I think about artists, most artists, they trying to get the bag and do the least amount that they possibly can and take the money home. If you look at the stage, the lighting, listen to the band, and it wasn't a band. Let me stop minimizing, Ye. It was an orchestra. When you hear an orchestra playing and the investment, he had to spend over $1 million just to put the show together. You know, he might not even have profited as much as people think, because that was a performance that I'm willing to pay for. But let me switch the thought process up. You know, I would like to see Lauryn Hill and Ye collab. They're two of the best to ever do it. And I want to pose a question to y'all before I play this conversation that needs to be held after watching that. Do you have to like the person to like their art? Let me say it again before I play this clip. Do you have to like the person to like their art? Help me out.
Have you watched Versus? Yes, yeah. You know where I'm going with it. Yeah. Would you step into that ring?
Oh, absolutely. But I would need about like 4 people to go against me at one time.
People gonna say they want Ye against. Who you think the people think they want to see you against? There's only 2 people really out there.
No, I think it'd be Drake, right?
Thank you. But you telling me, I just want to, for the fans, it's not for me.
Yeah.
If Swiss come to you, because it's not about money with you, I can tell it's not about money with you, but if Swiss, Timberland say, you and Drake against one another, you saying you're gonna take it and you're gonna smoke it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's all I need to be clear. That's all I need to be clear.
But it already happened. He played one of my leaked songs and it was better than every other song this year.
You know, after watching that performance again and thinking about verses, Ye would be doing verses justice just by participating. He don't need a verses. They in clubs, in Magic City, and little bitty holes in the wall performing. This man packing out football stadiums. It's a difference, man. It's a difference. I don't think Jay-Z want no smoke. I don't think Drake want no smoke. I don't think you can combine them two niggas and they won't smoke with Ye. Especially if the criteria of verses stay the same. The songs that he actually produced, the songs that he actually orchestrated and helped put together. Jay-Z don't want no smoke because majority of the songs that the youth and people resonate with today is Kanye West produced songs. So he participated in the greatness of why we think Jay-Z is the GOAT in ways that we may not know. But you know, Joe Budden them spoke on this morning also, and I hurry up and clipped it up because they was like, you know, who really could win in a versus between Jay-Z and Kanye? And I want to play the audio for y'all.
Is his production included in the verses?
Yes, it is.
Then yes, he beats Hov in the verses.
If we talking about production, that's
yes.
cheat code. Jay-Z doesn't produce.
And I'm Kanye.
If you talk about like lead songs, I don't think Jay-Z loses to Kanye West.
I think it's a personal.
I don't either.
I think it's a personal preference. I don't think he's just gonna beat him. Even if you add the production, you talking about 16 albums this nigga could pull from. You get what I'm saying?
But so production makes it tough.
It does, but again, it's still 20 songs.
They can't do 20.
It's not a body of work. It's 20 songs. So you go get your hottest 20 that you think are it. Whether production, whatever the case may be. And Jay-Z gonna go get his 20. I'm not saying Kanye won't win. I'm saying washing and all that. I think it just comes down to the listener and the audience and what their preference is.
And a lot of verses is performance. We watch people get up there, how you act, how you MC this, how you shoot at the other person. So if Kanye get on this cocky shit and start saying, and I made this for you, and start playing those bangers, it could get ugly, bro.
But he wouldn't talk to Hov like that on that stage.
Man, he said worse. So we don't know what he would say to Hov.
wasn't there though. He might get that.
I don't give a fuck if you made it, nigga. I put the words to it and I made it do this.
Kanye did lose a versus to Swiss Beats once upon a time.
He did. I was there for that.
He
did. Swiss smoked him, but I think that kind of fueled the way he makes his music today. Because what did Swiss say on that stage? Yeah, those are cute, but I make anthems. And all them records started ringing off where? In Giant Stadium.
I did see that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's not do this. Let's take Hov name out of this.
You know, they have such a New York East Coast bias that they don't see reality. One thing that I try to do on my platform is not speak with feelings, emotions, because I'm from Tennessee. If I wanted to, I could connect myself with those artists in a way that's unrealistic because I love it so much. I could connect myself to Jay-Z in a way that's unrealistic, but on a global scale, Jay ain't touching Ye. It's just a fact of the matter. He's not touching them. You know, to me, Jay-Z has made some of the most powerful financial, records of all times where he speaks about money and things like that and how to obtain it and keep it. And he has said some of the most prolific bars when it comes to financial structure and owning your masters and 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. And I can sell water to a well and all that old type shit. He done said some things. But what we know him for today and what the youth know him for today, those songs off of The Blueprint, those songs off of The Throne, Niggas in Paris and all of that, that is all Ye produced stuff. You know, the only thing that we could hold Ye accountable for is the lyricism because he doesn't write all his music. And Jay, he raps all of his music. He don't write neither. He just thinks the shit in his head and put it down. They say there's some sort of freestyle and stuff though, but I prefer writing. But you know, the people who wrote for Kanye West is just as valuable as Jay-Z to me. The Pusha T's, the Consequences. It's another guy from Chicago that I forgot his name, and I apologize too though, cause he dope also. But Sci-Hi the Prince, man, them boys can rap their ass off. They wrote a lot of those J bars. So in closing, I want to say, great show. The album is phenomenal. Bully, go check the album out. That Soul 5 performance and him bringing out Cee-Lo Green, Lauryn Hill, he brought his daughter out. He brought Travis Scott out. The production, the imagery and all of that. Salute to Ye. Real talk. Let's move along in the conversation. We get ready to get on this Pooh Shiesty Gucci Mane news. We're going to break it down. I'm going to play a few of the celebrities and their reactions to this. But before I get into that commentary, I want to play this update from Lil Durk while he was in prison, because it's just necessary at this time. And I think that hearing his ideology can help the youth. Real talk.
I just want to give y'all just an update on my mind state. You know, I just been reading to get into these books, just working on my patience. I've been reading Pawns in the Game by William Gacar, Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton, Elaine Brown, just all the revolutionaries, you know, who've been through something and stand for something that a lot of people don't know of or forgot about. You know, and it's just been sitting on my heart lately to just save the generation, bro. Save these kids. You know, they don't deserve it. I'm just tired of being a pawn for the culture, you know, entertaining and being ignorant, you know what I'm saying? I want to change the world around to being positive. I want to start with saying, like, when it comes to support, you know, I'd be cool because, you know, when Jay-Z went through his situation, you know, he the people's champ. They turned their back on him. Even Drake and Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be the first one to just do it, you know what I'm saying? And not saying the first one to do it, but, you know, for these kids, you know, we got to be their heroes. You know what I'm saying? They got to look up to us in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people ain't gonna like it. You know, if you can't make money off of it, they ain't gonna like it. So I'm gonna be the first one to do it. The revolutionary.
You know what I'm about to say, the youth may be disgruntled with what I'm about to say, but I was you before you was you. And now I'm me. The evolved version. Save the kids is important. You know, the message that he's trying to put out now is a message that he could have put out before he even got locked up. But the peer pressure, you know, the relationship with your partners that's currently in the streets, the ego, the need to feel validated, the need to feel respected, the need to, you know, be accepted is powerful. You know, people take lives and commit crimes based upon the need to feel accepted and respected. Durk is locked up for a serious situation, and if he's guilty of that situation, man, he just gotta hold his nuts and do what he gotta do. You know, he spoke about being a pawn for the culture. That resonated with me in a way that I didn't think it would, because majority of these people that's signed under these labels, the label want more of the negative stuff, more of the street stuff. They want more of the stuff that is going to tear down the community and keep funding them and bringing value to their pockets. It's sad. It's sad that these boys getting up this type of bag. The Pooh Shiesties, the YNW Mellies. I'm just sick of it, to be honest with you. And young niggas, man, you can do better, man. You know, by the grace of God, I made it out of those streets. Real talk. That's all it could have been. It wasn't me. I can't give myself no credit about being smart, about moving with structure and looking in the rearview mirror and always being nervous and all of that. By the grace of God, I made it out of those streets, because far and few do. Now we about to move along. You know, the news was breaking about Pooh Shiesty. I ain't got too many clips though to present this topic or whatever though, but when the news was breaking about Pooh and Gucci, I was kind of, tripping off of this because I remember conversations me and my partners used to have on the corners and in the streets all the time if somebody did us dirty in a record deal. Let's get to it.
9 suspects involved in the robbery and kidnapping of rapper Gucci Mane have been arrested. Officials say the alleged ringleader behind the attack was rapper Pooh Shiesty. Our Preseda Olguin has been on top of this story and has the latest.
Aside from learning that the 9th and final suspect has been arrested, we've been able to obtain video which shows the FBI at Pooh Shiesty's home the day he was arrested. Take a look at that video. This happened in Memphis. Federal authorities say Shiesty was the ringleader behind the attack on Gucci Mane here in Dallas. That incident happened back in January at a music studio located off Dallas Parkway. The DOJ says Gucci Mane and 2 others were allegedly kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint. They say 9 people were involved, including Pooh Shiesty's father and Big 30. For background, Pooh Shiesty signed on to Gucci Mane's record label back in 2020. And according to the DOJ, Pooh Shiesty is the one who set up the meeting to discuss his recording contract.
As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items.
Pooh Shiesty was released from federal prison in October and was placed on home confinement for a previous conviction, meaning that it's likely he was wearing an ankle monitor at the time of the crime. Officials say all 9 suspects will be transported here to North Texas, where they will face their crimes. Now, if convicted, each suspect can face life in prison. For now, reporting in Dallas, Preseda Olguin, CBS News, Texas.
I'm going to give y'all a little story before I give my take about that, because me being from Tennessee, that ideology that Pooh Shiesty has is regular shit in the streets. I can remember a time when I used to hear about Ice Cube getting $30,000 to do that platinum album for NWA, and he was complaining about his contract. I remember a time when I heard Suge Knight hanging Vanilla Ice over the balcony to sign over Ice Ice Baby so he could start Death Row. I remember a time hearing about Suge Knight confronting Eazy-E and beating him up and doing all type of things to him to get Dr. Dre out of his contract. I remember hearing BG and Juvenile complain about the Birdman and just things early on in my life when I was a young boy. So we used to sit on the porch in the hood and talk about if I got a deal and somebody did me dirty on my contract, or they beat me out my contract, or they got me in a bad situation. I hope y'all heard what I'm saying. Beat me, get me in a bad situation. It's just, I'm not taking responsibility for my actions. And the youth seldom do, because they want to get noticed. They want to become famous. They want to get that record deal so they can put their best out there. But we used to talk about what we would do to our CEOs or to the person who had us in contracts if they ever did us like that. You can't make $100 million off of me and have me in $1 million contract for 15 years. I'm going to react like something that the world has never seen before. And we were saying this in the late 90s, 98, 99. And now it finally has happened. The time has come. It was rumors for this earlier on this year. I was like, Pooh Shiesty didn't do that. I was like, he ain't been out a month. He didn't do that. He couldn't have did Gucci like that. Gucci was on Big Facts podcast with Big Bank talking about how excited he was for him and Fujiano to come home. He didn't do that. He couldn't have did that. So the news break, the feds done broke into Covington, Tennessee, and done picked Pooh Shiesty, his father, and all type of people up. 9 individuals. People catching a Greyhound from Memphis. If a nigga asks you to get in a Greyhound and meet me in another state to commit a crime, a Greyhound, I had to let it breathe, man. A Greyhound. That's crazy. It's just, thinking about this situation, I just didn't believe it at first. And now it's allegations about Gucci being a snitch when it was a retired police officer that's his security guard on site. Which I think he's scared to take the stand. He's the one that's going to take the stand. And he was hired to take the stand. Let me tell y'all something. A former street nigga like me, like myself. If I hire a security guard, he got to be ex-military or he got to be ex-police because he has the license to kill. And, if I'm taking care of him, paying him well, treating him right, and he got the license to kill, he ain't going to do nothing but take the stand for me in court and to keep representing me because I'm taking care of his family. I'm providing for his children, his wife. His well-being is kept up under me, and it's legal for him to do what he do. Now, I got more clips I want to play. This is a legal situation. Signing a contract is interesting. We're going to dive deeper into contracts. I remember when I used to do the Two Brothers podcast with my boy Troy. Every week we would talk about niggas disgruntled about the contract. It's as if, coming from that lifestyle to a legal lifestyle, brothers don't understand contracts and they sign things that they don't totally agree with. Then they react in this type of manner. Let's listen to the Lawyers for Workers. I think this individual, he got famous around the Tekashi 6ix9ine case when he was up against Treyway and everything, and he just been viral on YouTube since. But let's see what this lawyer had to say.
Let me tell you the difference between a lawyer and a non-lawyer. Non-lawyers think the truth is what they know. Hey, I know this. It's the truth. I could see it. You know what lawyers think the truth is? It's what you could prove in a court of law. When a Fed writes an affidavit saying witnesses told him this, this, and this, and so the defendant is guilty of a crime, that does not make the defendant guilty of a crime. When those witnesses take the stand and give sworn testimony under oath with the defendant in the box and 12 jurors on the side, now you have evidence, you have sworn testimony. We are far from that. Look, I'm not saying this case is getting beat, this case is getting won, this case is this case is that. What I'm saying is you have to look at what the government is telling you and look at what the government is showing you. And then you have to start playing the game. That's all. The idea that there's a video of Pooh Shiesty holding a gun and pointing it at Gucci Mane and saying, sign this contract, has been proven to be demonstrably false. That is not on video. If it was, he would have been cooked a long time ago.
That's true, because if that video came out and he got the Drake to go up head, get him out of here. But I'm going to tell y'all something about the state of Tennessee too. You can kill your partner, get out on bond, or you might maximum get 5 years. You can get caught with a half a chicken and they'll throw you away. In those Republican states, they don't care about the violence and the crimes because, they are the ones that's for the gun laws and the gun rights. They're going around in Walmart with the choppers on their back. They might got the clip out, but the choppers out in public, 50 cows and all of that. Pooh Shiesty coming home. I'm just telling y'all like it is. The only way I can see Pooh Shiesty getting a significant amount of time is if that former officer take the stand or some video come out, and just like that lawyer said, ain't no video coming out, and it's in a Republican state, the state of Tennessee. No. Man, if I could tell y'all some of the stories, I wouldn't want to waste y'all time that I know from close friends of mine getting killed. I'm going to tell y'all something right quick. I had one of my partners get killed by somebody who just bonded out for a murder the day before. He bonded out of a murder and got out on bond and killed somebody the next day and went back to jail. Why is these laws so loose like this? That's what my thoughts was. Like, why is my laws, the law so loose like this? He was upset because his girl was messing with my partner, and then my partner is gone now. The laws for violence is loose in Tennessee. That's all I want to say, and I feel like Pooh Shiesty is coming home. Real talk. It's a podcast that I watch. with Rachel, Higher Learning, and Van Latham. They was talking about this, and they gave a great perspective on it also.
What I do know is I just have so many questions. Number one, how in the fuck did they think they were going to get away with this? I have a question for people out there. My young brothers that's in the streets still doing their thing. Do you want to get away? I'm serious. Like because growing up, I didn't know very many people who pulled a jug or did something, was involved in something, and then like went to the police and went, "Hey, I killed somebody," or just like, look. Do you know people that like took a chain and then flexed the chain? Yeah. Do you know people that would run off at the mouth about shit that they had did? Yeah. But there was a thought when I was growing up that once guys did a crime, that they wanted to get away with the crime. That the point of the crime was to get whatever resources that you got from the crime and then not go to
Get
jail.
caught. Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
At that time that Van Latham is talking about, attention wasn't the currency. We was dealing with, in our time, a lack of resources, and we hustled for resources. In my hustling days, I hustled because I wanted to remove myself from the environment. Now, a lot of people will be like, Trevor, why did you want to remove yourself from your own people? Because we're in a state where the foundation of Black Americans is talking about delineating from other ethnicities and all of that. And that's a valid conversation. But I wanted to remove myself because I didn't like my environment. My people wanted less of me. They wanted to hinder me. I used to see brothers on child support losing their life, and the U.S. Marshals coming to pick brothers up, brothers shooting each other, killing each other, the police killing brothers. I had to remove myself from that environment. It just wasn't for me. But I removed myself through the hustle. The hustle was a necessity. A lot of people don't hustle for necessity. A lot of people hustle because they're in competition with others. So by it being a necessity, I needed food. I needed clothes. I needed to pay bills so I could have air conditioner, lights, power, water, and to get myself in a situation so I could work and better my life and better my situation. Times have changed, and I don't think people realize that, because the currency is attention. Pooh Shiesty got out of jail, released that first day out, and he didn't even release no more material. He probably have material saved up, and whoever is running his estate need to hurry up and release that material while he has the world's attention, because that is what's going to make him the most money, even though that money going to go back to Gucci. Damn, boy. You did a bad business situation. This was bad business. You release anything now that is going to make a significant amount of money, all of that attention currency that you was hustling for, all that money going to go back to Guwap. Damn.
Gucci Mane got robbed and didn't tell nobody but the law. I told y'all, man, people who are paying goddamn taxes and law-abiding citizens, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, come here. That shit dead. Robbing people, trying to goddamn extort. That shit dead. Gucci Mane done what he was supposed to do. Put the laws in them niggas' lives. What Gucci Mane and his team been working behind the scene. Effortless.
That was funny and everything, but I don't think that was reality, because we don't know the truth. That's why he should have put allegedly behind that, because he's saying Gucci Mane put the laws on him. No, Gucci brought the law with him when he was trying to do that legal transaction. He brought the law with him. you know, when you dealing in, it's a such thing as street smart. And a lot of these people are street ignorant. But, you know, y'all value those type of guys. Gucci Mane was moving street smart. He's a tax-paying citizen. When you start to pay taxes, you realize that the police is your protection. You don't have anything to hide from them. Real spill. What's crazy about all of this and everything that's going on is that business contracts is the main conversation. But what Pooh Shiesty tried to do to get out of his contract, it just wasn't smart. Pooh Shiesty was hotter than fish grease. You know, before he went to jail, I didn't perceive him to be as rich as he looked once he got out of jail. And he was riding around in those Ferraris and doing the money spread and all of that, the Maybachs, and he had all type of stuff. With one record, he was going on $1 million worth of game flexing. It made me feel like something ain't right. Something ain't right. He had a good 6-month run though, but little buddy, I feel sorry for you, to be honest with you. Now, when we talk about business acumen in hip hop, it's no way that we can't mention Jay-Z. You know, it was some Caucasian individuals on a podcast talking about Jay-Z as of recently. Now, if I was Gucci, he went to Dallas. He went to handle his business with Pooh Shiesty on Pooh Shiesty's time and Pooh Shiesty's comfort. Do you think the Caucasian Jewish man that runs Universal Music Group or runs Warner Brothers or runs Atlantic Records or runs any of these record labels would have did anything to make sure that they put you in a convenient situation? No. You're going to come up to this 60th floor without your partners, and we're going to handle the business right here. Gucci Mane made it convenient for him. But, you know, the ideology of Gucci as a businessman and Jay-Z as a businessman is two totally different things.
Well, you know, what you didn't know in the 90s about Jay is that he had this whole other part of his brain that was developing and in high gear, which is the business side of him. And, you know, saying, I want my masters back in a song. And
he knew that right away?
How in the 90s. But how it impacted every other artist. What you're seeing today is a lot of when Jay wrote those, Prince and Jay lit that fire.
Yeah. Well, but from the beginning, did he know
Prince
that?
understood it. Jay actually made it happen.
How did Jay know to do that?
I don't know. He was a great, from the beginning, maybe because he was a drug dealer. So he understood the economics. Always.
He thought he was always thinking the economics.
Well, he was a businessman as a kid, and he understood the economics of the street.
Wow.
You know, they minimized it by saying just because he's a drug dealer, because there's smart ones and there's dumb ones. Throughout my whole life, I wanted to become a successful artist. I've released 15 albums. Go check out the playlist if y'all want to hear some of the records or whatever. I got some phenomenal records. But I've always been independent because I don't see the benefit in signing a contract if it's not of my best interest. Long term, you know, it could be good to make you popular in the short term, but financially it's going to hinder you more than it's going to help you. So I would have liked to done business with record labels and things though, but as a former hustler myself, I feel like it's not in my best interest. I don't want to be doing the things that Pooh Shiesty out here doing. I don't want to be one of these artists in complete debt. Some label done took a loan out on me, got me signing contracts, and now I'm $50 million in debt. No. That's just not smart, man. Jay-Z is an unprecedented businessman. Gucci Mane has done phenomenal for himself also. Pooh Shiesty was hotter than fish grease, and he let that street mind take him completely out the game. Completely out the game. I don't have a dog in the fight. I would like to see this young brother come home. But when he do come home, which I feel like will be in 5 years or less, I hope he changes his mind. Real talk.
My DM Rose, what you think or how you feel about the Guwap Pooh Shiesty situation? I don't like it for either side. You know what I'm talking about? Guwap most definitely didn't deserve that, and I don't want to see this for the little homie Pooh Shiesty, but this is when niggas got to be educated and understand. In business, you got to negotiate, my nigga. You got to negotiate. If you were signed for $100K and now you got 10 M's on the table, it's time to negotiate. This how we do this. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody win. Let's go. That's how I got to go, my nigga. You can't muscle your way out of no shit and no business. It don't go that way. And I ain't just talking about on the people side, but on the other side, the blitz gonna come. You can't run from it, homie. That's the way it goes. Negotiate. It's time to educate. I want to see young hustlers from the South win. I want to see it. There was a time I got Gotti and Guwap on the phone.
Listening to Rick Ross give me a crazy perspective, and I'm closing it out with this take, this conversation on Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane. Listening to Rick Ross, it was a time to negotiate. It was a time to say that, you know, I've been locked up. It's been people coming to me telling me that I'm worth this, telling me that they would give me this for that. And Gucci, you know, you my nigga. I know you looking out for my best interest and everything, but I'm home now. I have a different expectation for my life. And now that I have this different expectation, we have to do a different type of negotiation. Young niggas, this is what I want to convey in closing to this. Learn how to articulate yourself. Learn how to communicate with your elders. Learn how to talk to your lady. Continuously learn and educate yourself so you won't be a disadvantage when you communicating with somebody else. So you won't have to react with violence because you don't understand what's going on. You can't compute, so you ready to shoot. Hey, I have no dog in the fight. I'm just looking at this from my lens. Interesting conversation, interesting situation. Let's move along in the podcast. Real talk, man. I'm glad we passed that or whatever though. But you know, Meek Mill and Charlamagne been having a back and forth as of recently. You know, about Meek Mill's career and how Charlamagne views it. And Meek responded to that. But before we get into that, I want to see what Meek is doing musically, because he just released something this Friday. It's what is it called? 600 Racks. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
600 racks in a duffel, you either you with us or ain't, you ain't as fuck you. We came in this bitch, 2 Glock 4 pounds in a 10, so we ain't gon' rumble. You get some money, they love you as soon as you lose it, them hoes don't want you, please. Nigga ran through the money, got way more humble. 10 to a 20, I'm making it double. With 10 on your homie, I think he in trouble. Bro see me make like 10 M's and he ain't get one cause he ain't wanna hustle. I almost put a bird on the bitch, I ain't rap niggas, but I ain't wanna fumble. Niggas know I'm laying, Glock 10s, FNs, 6-3s, new bins. Fucking us 6, I'm hitting 2 twins. Better believe it, I run her this cash. I get burned, I'm like 2 M's. She fuck good, she get in her bag. I call Kim K, get her some skims, yeah. Bullshit, niggas thinking I lost it, made it out of my hardships. Tall bitch, throw it back and she toss it, knock it out of the park shit. Dog shit, I been popping that dog shit, on some raising the bar shit. Car shit, you and your dog hit, talking in that hot shit. 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, 4. I had that when I came in the door. I was still crack way back 04. I was still straight way back for sure. She wanna fuck for them racks for sure. He wanna kill for them racks for sure. I'm pointing everybody out one wall. You eat, I kill young boy. I'm on that Bird Street Diamond, South School track street, yeah, the real up north. Walk through the valley, shadow with death. You try me, yeah, I make it real out north. I got dispatching this shit like electric. I gave it a car, it's still out north. Right on the block, it's still out north. On my top, got hitters out north. 600 racks in a duffel, you either you with us or ain't, you ain't as fuck you. We came in this bitch, 2 Glock 4 pounds in a 10, so we ain't gon' rumble. You get some money, they love you as soon as you lose it, them hoes don't want you, please. I'm doing this shit with ease. She a little hood bitch, mean as fuck for me, she get on them knees. Real hood nigga, I'm rockin' the patty, this shit like 300 piece. Bro, and I'm pushing that weed, gon' live on niggas real quick like speed. You did, too much motion. I went cullin' and follow the ghosts. Niggas ain't having the way that we having to get on some hoe shit. Run out the rat keys, niggas turning the actors and get on some bro shit. She go to wave and surf the Lambo, yeah, real fast in the ocean. Been through your block on a big boy coaster. On 12, what the hell? Get paid, fuck jail. G43, this bitch talk well. She get paid and play with that water. I'm eating her out, this bitch on scale. She fuck well instead of herself. OB, hey, go get a Chanel. Nigga, I'm made, I sit in the cell before I tell and sit in the cell. So many nights, they ain't give me no bell. We was all locked up sitting in jail. Now Dubai on the yacht, we sell. Every big Don don't know Meek Mill. I just told her my name, I'm Meek. 10 road Roy coming through like a sheep. Chase.
Dope record. I rock with Meek something heavy, man. I feel like Meek is a artist that came in the game hot. Super hot. The song he did with Kurt Cobain, Dreams and Nightmares, the collaborations with Rick Ross and Wale over there at MMG. He was the flagship artist to me at MMG. He was the one that Rick Ross wanted to invest all his time and all his money in. And rightfully so, because Meek Mill was hot. The Level song and all of that, Meek Mill was hotter than fish grease. It's just that, let me turn the music down. It's just that public perception is where the real value comes in at. And when the public perceives you to be one way that is profitable, and then they start to view you another way that's not profitable, that's when the people who are investing in you stop investing in you because they don't see a bag in it. Charlamagne the God, he was on his platform, The Brilliant Idiots, with Andrew Schultz, and they had something to say about Meek Mill, and we get ready to get into it right quick. Real spill.
Right?
Yeah,
Sadly, Pac and Biggie got,
the smaller guy always has the upside.
Meek never. I don't know.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying. Like, Meek could have just kept doing music, but for some reason he didn't. Like, something was just off after the battle. You know what I mean? And he really, honestly, he didn't really
He never recovered.
Yeah, strange.
Maybe he made a lot of money, though.
He kind of recovered when he got with Nicki, and then it fell off again.
No, they broke up right after that.
I know, but he was like having songs out and everything.
You know what it was with Meek, man? Meek's Achilles heel to me was actually Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
And when Drake called him Twitter fingers, no, what did he say? What was it? It was Twitter fingers,
Yeah,
right?
Twitter fingers.
When he called them Twitter fingers,
trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers, and it's just like every time Meek tweets, even
It's
now
crazy,
to
bro.
this day,
it's crazy. It's pure entertainment.
And I fuck with Meek. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I think Meek does a lot for his community. You know, he's been a great, symbol for the city of Philly. I love what he does with reform, but I probably would have deleted my Twitter after Twitter fingers, and just flooded the streets with nothing but music.
You're forgetting the Diddy stuff too.
Guys,
his post and his responses on Twitter has had an impact on his career, but I don't think that he got annihilated by Drake to a point to where his career ended, because he had did some things. Jay-Z even gave him a verse after that beef with Drake. What are y'all thoughts in the comment section below? Let me know. Did Meek Mill career end after the beef with Drake, or was y'all still rocking with Meek? Let me read Meek's response to this though to y'all. So I want to make this a main post to highlight the real propaganda that's taking place in the hip hop community. I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening and how they are trying to downgrade artists' brands from feeding their family. Let's go through it. The white hit also boosted. See, I see what they talking about when Meek right. He need to use ChatGPT to clear this shit up, because damn, nigga. The white hit also boosted didn't rumor on his major platform with no evidence. Do not go on these platforms. Only us. Can y'all see my brand back heating up now? Please leave an honest comment. Since Drake beef, I dropped 3 times platinum, Peter double platinum, Blue Notes 1 and 2 platinum, Uptown Vibes with the legend from Brooklyn Fabulous platinum, What's Free featuring Jay-Z, Meek Mill, I think it's plat, Fuck On Me featuring Cardi B platinum, Scarface with Rick Ross gold, Independent Money, Respect the Game, platinum. 24/7, double platinum. Dangerous, platinum. Or double. I don't collect plaques. Championships album is double platinum. Expensive Pain, gold. And it wasn't marketed correctly. I was leaving the labels. Cybertruck, 5 a.m. in Philly. How far we came. He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek. Was done. Narrative was done. Now he's using the same against Drake. Drake, good with me and Jay-Z. Keep me out of this weak ass shit you on. I had a meeting with the 16 founds, a lot of new tech deals and activations just from playing around tweeting. I forgot. Proud of me. Almost platinum. 1942 flows, platinum. Whatever you need, featuring Chris Brown, platinum. Check championships. The intro is platinum. We Ball is platinum. What the fuck is he talking about? We got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he is in the closet and he's gay. Man that hates successful black men unless he's doing business with them. But I could be wrong. Oh, and I'm helping pop like 10 artists off on the East Coast cashing. Man, I can't keep reading Meek tweets. Nigga, I rock with Meek heavy. And I can't read his tweets. The nigga ain't, he can't spell. Nigga putting two words back to back, the pronunciation and the commas and periods is off and all that. And I can't read all of that. But I want to say Charlamagne the guy was wrong in saying that his career was over after the Drake beef. Real talk.
Insane to talk every week.
What?
We're insane to talk every week.
But we're podcasters.
Twitter, only Elon makes money. You know what I mean? Like, you could do the same talking and tweeting you could do in bars. You could just rap. You could just do it. It's a kind of crazy thing that people are actively still talking.
Yeah, man.
At that level.
Meek should have doubled, tripled down on just rap.
Just rap.
Like, cause he's nice. Like, just flood the streets with music. Let social media talk. Let them be crazy.
And you
get off Twitter. Just give them music and, keep doing your
created a
community work.
song also that, like, Philly will play for decades.
Oh my God.
Like, they'll play that literally for decades.
Dreams and Nightmares is like PSA level at this point.
Yeah, I imagine for Philly.
No, for the world.
No, of course the world, but also the world also has PSA. Like I've seen Dreams and Nightmares in another country. It's the same. No,
effect.
I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just trying to say, like, the emotional connection we have for PSA, right? I'm sure Philly probably loves PSA too. And then they get Dreams and Nightmares. And if you have to ask them what we're going to come out to, what we're going to start with, in Philly, they're going to go Dreams and Nightmares.
Taylor's doing that shit at our wedding.
What we do is wrong.
Yo.
Taylor,
I'm playing Freeway.
I know Freeway. First of all, I know Freeway. Listen,
What we do is wrong.
You'll hear at a Philly wedding. Dreams and Nightmares, Freeway, What We Do Is Wrong, and freaking No Better Love from the Young Guns.
I speak the truth. Every time I step in the booth,
Taylor already told me. Truth. Taylor said she walking out with her dad to dun dun dun. Y'all ready?
You're not playing Beanie Siegel?
I had to cut it off, even though it was more left to play. I feel like, we living in times to where it's an attention currency. Charlamagne the guy just got a $200 million contract for his podcast deal or whatever, and The Brilliant Idiots is one of the longest running podcasts in the game, along with Joe Budden podcast, and it's a cultural relevant podcast because it has a white guy from New York and a guy from South Carolina that has assimilated in New York, and he knows a lot about hip hop and the culture. He speaks about it a lot, but I don't think that he really understands it into the levels that needs to be understood at. The disrespect to Meek Mill is kind of wild. DJ Academics started it because of, the one thing that I can say that was the spookiest about Meek Mill was when he was in that swimming pool and Diddy was calling that nigga daddy. He should have put him in place. That right there is something that I can't unsee, Meek. Once a nigga can't unsee something, it might be over for you. Real talk. I hope you bounce back, dog. I don't agree with Charlamagne the God. I feel like your career didn't end due to the beef with Drake. You're a very talented brother. And, you know, I'm going to continue to support your creativity, but make sure that you're creating at a high level. I'm off of this topic, man. I want to play, before we get into this NASA and Mars conversation and the competition with China, and I play the clip with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I want to release on this episode an exclusive song off my up-and-coming album, If Not Me, Then Who. This song is titled One Life to Live. You know, a hell of a record. Let's get to it.
Maya, turn me up in the headphones. Let's get to it. I got one life to live. I wanted to retire, but I came back for the purists. I'm in this shit forever. You niggas is tourists. We laughing at the cap of your rap. What happened to facts in that matte black coupe? Popping bottles with Jack. While you was rapping about trap, I wasn't rapping the pack. While you was competing with yours, I was lifting up mine. They say crime don't pay, well I can tell you they lying. See, I'm a visionary, and all of this shit is temporary. I keep the blick on me moving like the military, and I ain't budging unless the play is monetary. 7 digits for the crib, it's the sanctuary. They thank me later, but they hate me now. They wonder how, just know that I held it down. Put on for my time, I'm everywhere you not allowed. You never there, and my youngins ain't playing foul. Never compare me to no rappers, cause your favorite rapper hardest ball really never mattered. I looked up to God against all odds, I never been a fraud. I was just doing my job, and if we on a fast break, nigga, just throw me the lob. I'm going up like elevators, laugh at the haters. Everything major, we rockin' the flavors. You still in polo, that's a no-no. Just left DC ballin' at the go-go. I should've been the QB at the Pro Bowl. Never falling off, cause I ain't Jermaine Cole. But I'm cold-blooded, mink zone in the winter. Replace Michael B with me, a real sinner. I got one life to live, I'ma do the most. Pop the 82 Rothschild when I toast. If I die today, it be a holiday. And if you missing the player, then just press replay. Hey.
That was a record titled One Life to Live off of my up-and-coming album, If Not Me, Then Who. It's releasing the last week of August or the first week of September. You know I want to give y'all a heads up on that. It's going to be a phenomenal project. It's going to be the highest quality independent album, period. And it ain't like I'm competing with people. It's just the fact that I'm good at this shit, dog. Go check out the record, man. Everybody can relate to that. It's One Life to Live. It'll be dropping soon. I just wanted to give the people who support me, you know, an exclusive. Real talk. Now, I want to talk about Artemis 2. Why now? What is Trump's agenda? Are we competing with China? You know, the news had broke that we was headed to Mars. And before I get into this video and react to this video with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I want to play a few clips. Real talk.
Good afternoon from the Space Coast of Florida, where 4 astronauts are about to suit up for NASA's boldest test flight in a generation.
Our goal is to pursue the secrets of the universe, to change the world in air and space.
We have a ton of people gathering around the world to watch this history-making moment.
This crew cohesion, we're at the point now where we are ready to go fly.
I've had shivers run up and down my spine a number of times.
This mission is an opportunity for our generation. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity.
The question isn't go or not go. It's are you going to lead or are you going to follow?
This crew could be the first humans to journey around the moon in more than half a century.
The Artemis 2 crew is go for launch. Full set.
Let's go.
3,
2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Artemis and Artemis 2 remind us that our greatest chapters are yet to be written. Well done. Go Artemis 2!
The point is the end game. The moon has now become the center, the focus of this mission.
Artemis 2 is the first step in a sustained presence off of planet Earth in deep space. And if we are successful in doing that, I think Artemis 2 becomes just that first little teeny tiny curb that we stepped up on this really long journey.
You know, it's a lot of individuals that don't believe. The key word is believe. Don't believe that space is real. They believe that the Earth is flat. They believe a lot of things. And I want to know y'all perspective in the comment section below. What's y'all thoughts about us going back to Mars like 50 years later, 60 years later, something like that. I don't know the specifics, but what's y'all thoughts about that? What are we chasing? You know, it was a competition in the 60s, and it seems as if it's a competition now with the Trump administration, and why human beings can't unify. That's another thing that interests me when I think about this. Like, it's a power struggle. It's a power conversation. You know, we're fighting for power. We're fighting in Iran right now so we can take natural resources. We fought in Venezuela and took natural resources under the Trump administration. Now Trump is investing a percentage of the U.S. budget into NASA so we can go to Mars, so we can compete with China. What's really going on? Real talk, what's really going on? Now, to the belief conversation, you know, it was an executive. I was listening to his podcast and conversation. It was an executive at NASA talking about, you know, Mars. Was it a lie that we went there in the 60s? What's the reason that we're going back now in 2026? And he had this to say.
Study ignition earlier this week.
At a lot of the Trump rallies that I would go to, oftentimes I would get challenged by folks about the idea that we ever went to the moon. You know, this is out there that we never went. And one of the big questions from people that might believe it never happened was, okay, well, if we went decades ago, why haven't we been able to figure out how to get back?
It's a fair question. Let me just be like overwhelmingly clear. As the head of NASA, an astronaut, and a lifelong space enthusiast, yes, we absolutely went to the moon. I've spoken directly with the astronauts that have been on the moon, that have walked on the moon. I have a moon rock in my office that was picked up by Harrison Schmitt on Apollo 17, and I've spoken to him about it. And he still studies a lot of the samples that we have. In fact, if you went to the ignition event earlier this week, we put a bunch of our moon rocks that we picked up in the 1960s and early 1970s and put them on display. We absolutely did it, but it's a fair question. Why haven't we been back? Look, things changed, right? We had a great competitor then. I mean, this was another battleground in the Cold War. Which one of our, our political systems, our ideology was superior, and we used going to the moon and bringing it back as one of the proving grounds. Not to mention it was great for inspiring the next generation and everything we learned that benefited life here on Earth. But having a competitor didn't hurt that NASA's budget was about 4.5% of the discretionary budget at the time. It's about 0.25% now. But without a competitor and without the resources, our priorities changed. We started working with everybody, forming partnerships, trying to please everyone to some extent. I mean, NASA had a lot of externally imposed priorities on us that aren't necessarily aligned with doing world-changing things in air and space. And now it's changed. Now you have President Trump. You have a national space policy. You have the resources from the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Family Tax Cut Act. And we have a competitor. We have a very, very good competitor.
You know, that's interesting to hear him say that we have a competitor. Trump is investing in NASA through the One Big Beautiful Bill because he wanted to be able to put funds towards NASA so they could do these big things that they're doing right now. I'm a sci-fi buff when I watch movies. I'm a person that likes things that goes beyond adventure and things like that. I actually believe that they went to Mars. I would be one of those people that would go on that rocket and try to see outer space, because it's something that very few people would ever experience. But my thoughts before we get into this video with Neil deGrasse Tyson, so he can get us up to speed. Get us up to speed, Neil, on this topic of conversation and why Artemis 2 was created for us to go back to the moon. Let me turn the jazz down because it's a little loud. Is that my thoughts is why? Who's benefiting? Who's profiting? Is this dependent upon the evolution of technology? Because technology right now is the new drug. That's what people is addicted to, technology. So is this the reason why we're going back up to Mars? To obtain things, to create a safe space for permanent purposes for the United States. Let's get into this video, man. Real talk.
Chuck. Yes. We're going back to the moon.
I didn't know I've been in the first place.
NASA.
All right. NASA's going back to the moon.
Yes. Let's back up a little.
All right.
Okay. The first and only other time we went to the moon was the Apollo program.
Correct.
As you know, we went to the moon 9 times.
We faked it 9 times. Not even in my marriage has that much faking taken place.
Apollo 8
went
to the moon, orbited, and came back. Took that famous picture of Earthrise over the landscape.
That's right.
Apollo 10 went to the moon, orbited the moon, deployed the lander, and then came back up.
Right.
So that's Apollo 10.
Right.
Apollo 11, everyone remembers. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, walk on the moon.
Right.
They leave Michael Collins up in the capsule.
Just left him up there. Didn't even give him the opportunity to go down later and check it out for himself.
You know
what I mean?
in the plan. These are professionals.
That is rough. You know, you're going to make me the chauffeur?
Go to the moon.
You're going to make me the moon chauffeur. I didn't even get
the moon chauffeur.
I'm the moon chauffeur.
Then there's Apollo 12, Apollo 13, the ill-fated one.
Right.
Old Hollywood movie on that, directed by Ron Howard. And then Apollo 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right. Why did we go? We're Americans. We're explorers. It's in our DNA, is what we are told.
Right.
That's not propaganda. Why we went. That's not why we went.
No, why do we go?
You could want to go for those reasons, but that's not what makes everybody write a check.
Yeah, exactly.
Who writes the checks? Congress writes the checks.
Right.
You got to spook Congress somehow into writing the check. So Kennedy says,
we go to the moon and do this, that, and the other thing because it is hard.
So Yuri Gagarin comes out of orbit.
Okay. Right.
First man in space.
Yeah.
To orbit the Earth.
Right.
6 weeks later, we have a joint session of Congress. President Kennedy says stirring words, put a man on the moon, return him safely to Earth before the decade is out. Go earlier, a couple of paragraphs in that same speech. If the events of recent weeks couldn't even utter the man's name.
Right.
The events of recent weeks are any indication of the impact of this adventure on the minds of men everywhere, then we need to show the world the path of freedom over the path of tyranny.
Voldemort is back. Dumbledore, I tell you, Voldemort is back.
The enemy is established.
Right.
The godless enemy is established.
Right.
The checks were written.
And yeah, well, there you go.
And they'd already beaten us with the first animal in space, Laika. They did already beat us at all of that. We needed something to beat them. So we said, let's go to the moon.
We're going to land on the moon.
And walk
around.
Even though they beat us in all these other categories.
Right.
And we did. So what happens? We get to the moon, look over our shoulder, no Ruskies. We're done here. So did we really go to explore?
No.
Or did we go to just beat the Russians?
Right.
We have not been back to the moon in 50 years. So you know how many scientists went to the moon?
0?
One. Do you know which mission?
No.
The last mission.
17.
So we had the astronauts do science experiments. It's not that no science happened.
No.
But don't fool yourself into thinking this was all for exploration.
Right.
It was muscle flexing on the geopolitical sphere during a Cold War when we're fighting a hot war in Southeast Asia against that enemy. We don't go back to the moon. Not in the 70s, not in the 80s, Not in the 90s. Oh, wait a minute. In the 20-teens. Let's go back to the moon. What a great idea. We're long overdue. It's been half a century.
Yeah. I wonder how the moon's doing.
Okay. Why did we have these thoughts? Let's part the curtains. What else happened in the 20-teens? China says they want to put taikonauts on the moon.
Oh.
Taikonaut. Their version of a cosmonaut, our version of an astronaut.
Right.
Oh my gosh. China's going to the moon. If there's ever a reason for Congress to reinvigorate the funding to go back to the moon, it was that.
Can't have
so
China.
we announced program to return to the moon.
That's all that I needed to hear, to be honest with y'all. I don't need to hear nothing else, because at the end of the day, it's a competition thing. It isn't a thing to benefit us. It's a thing to keep control, to keep power, and to keep influence over other nations. Wow. I'm going to continue to research this thing, continue to move forward in my thinking, and try my best to bring value to y'all. And I appreciate y'all tuning in to that subject and to that segment of the show. I'm going to move along in the conversation and get back to, some of the commentary in pop culture that has been going on this week. Real talk. Thank y'all for tuning in to that real spill. So we're going to get into this Memphis conversation. We talked about Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane and the beef that's going on in Memphis. But I want to play a few clips from NBA players that talks about the team, the Memphis Grizzlies, need to be moved from Memphis to Nashville.
Hey, flying into Memphis, bro.
What you coming to that FedEx? Them boys maybe had him for cracking.
I mean, we gonna stay at that West, and I'm gonna walk across. I'm walking across the street on game day to get to the.
What's your least favorite city? Everybody's got to have one.
Yeah, Memphis, probably. I mean, the hotel is probably the worst hotel in the NBA. The food there is good, though.
Did you ever walk into a hotel room and just be like, wow, thousands of people have slept in this bed before me?
Yeah. Especially when we go to Memphis. I be like, damn, my hotel ain't nothing in Memphis. That shit be dirty. I walked in the Memphis hotel one time, I had stains and shit on the bed.
Stains and shit?
Stains and shit.
They broke in your room for you?
Nah, they ain't breaking in, but.
No, I'm saying they broke it in.
Yeah.
But it's Memphis, so they might have also broke in.
For sure. Memphis, shout out.
Shout out Memphis.
Yeah.
Shoot out Memphis.
Nah, shoot out.
Let's continue on with the conversation because it's more NBA players that's disgruntled about Memphis.
As opposed to going Memphis more than once. And just do Memphis. Just do everybody a favor and move that team to Nashville. There's no great hotels in Memphis. I love the people of Memphis. They are incredible. Shout out to the people of Memphis. I love them. But just from an NBA standpoint, man, like there's not a sauna or a hot tub in sight. Nowhere. Not at the gym, not at a spa, not at a hotel, nothing. Not in sight. So the NBA either need to send that to Nashville so they can have proper facilities, or even better, the NBA, it should be mandatory that teams have at least a hot tub and cold tub, but probably a sauna in their visiting locker room. Like, it should be mandatory. It should be mandatory that all the seats in the NBA are higher up. These things should be mandatory, but also get Memphis the hell out of Memphis and send them to Nashville.
You know one thing, I can't believe that a team is in the NBA without a recovery area. Sauna, hot tub, stretching, cryotherapy, a recovery area. I can't believe that even exists, but I want to say something. Being a brother from Tennessee, initially, when that team first went to Memphis from Vancouver, even us in Tennessee was wondering why it didn't go to Nashville. Why is they going to Memphis? No disrespect to Memphis. I respect y'all. And I feel like that team brings a lot to y'all. Because majority of NBA players are black individuals. And Memphis is culture. It's Martin Luther King. It's 666 Mafia. It's soul food. It's the home of barbecue. Some would say Texas, but it's Memphis. It's the home of soul, blues, all of that in Memphis, Tennessee. So, you know, it should be a place that should be prioritized on the NBA list when you come to Memphis. But no hot tub, no sauna, no cryotherapy. They got to fix that, dog. There's plenty of money there. It's a tax-free state. Let's see what LeBron had to say.
Staying at the fucking Hyatt at 41 years old. You think I want to do that shit? Being in Memphis on a fucking random-ass Thursday? I'm not like the first guy to even talk about an NBA. Like, we all like, you guys have to move. Just go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got the fucking NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team too?
Yeah, Predators.
Yeah. Like they got everything.
Doesn't look like LeBron's going to be on the Grizzlies anytime soon, so Grizzly fans out there.
Yeah, they know. Their only chance was in 2003 if they'd have won the lottery to get me there. And I might have pulled a Eli Manning and not showed up
for the games.
I don't actually like that from LeBron because he's a billionaire. And Memphis is the blackest city per capita in the United States. I don't like that. Talking about their only chances was if they would have won the lottery. Nigga, let me stop because I'm not a LeBron hater. But, you know, he was asked a question via after the game, you know, because he was receiving backlash from that comment. And I want to play it, though. Hold on. Let me pause it. Check this out, y'all.
People have been upset about the fact that Memphis was looked at as a team that, you know, a lot of black people in Memphis, right, compared to like Nashville, for example. So people
did I say I don't like black people?
No, you didn't say that. But there were people who were wondering why Memphis was targeted. Like
Milwaukee was too. Did they miss that one too? They didn't see that?
Not as much commentary.
Oh, yeah, okay. I said Milwaukee as well. Yeah. 41 years old. It's two cities I do not like playing in right now. And that's Milwaukee and that's Memphis. What is the problem?
I'm going to play the rest of it, but I want to say something. He said it's two cities that I don't like playing in because I'm 41 years old, and it's Milwaukee and Memphis. Is Milwaukee and Memphis the problem, or are you the problem because you're 41 years old? He said that in the clip that I played before I started playing this audio. Age isn't an excuse. You can't use age as an excuse when you have made $1 billion off of the NBA and you've been playing in Memphis for 21 years, nigga. Why is it a problem now? Let me continue to play the audio.
I don't like going home either. Shit, and I'm from there. What is people are ridiculous. They also get mad at my son being on the team too. So what are we talking about? People need to figure out other ways to put their energy to other things that's important. Like, seriously, I'm not talking about this.
I ain't even gonna play no more. Because he started talking about Cleveland. He don't like going home. People are mad that his son is on the team. Elevate Cleveland. You gave him a championship. We don't want to hear what you don't like. Your son don't deserve to be in the NBA. It was a couple of players on that team that was better than him that isn't even in the NBA at USC. No disrespect to LeBron James, though, but, you know, I don't respect that. Real talk. Memphis is a place that is black culture at its root. If you want to see black culture evolve, then take your ass to Memphis and help it evolve. Because Memphis is the root of black culture. It isn't another city in the United States that is more black culture than Memphis. One thing I want to do before I move along in this conversation, we talking about Memphis, we talking about the NBA, we talked about Pooh Shiesty and everything. It was a Memphis Tigers coach that had something to say about the music selection that a lot of his players listen to before games, and he wants to create a disciplinary environment within the organization that he is a coach at. Let's go.
When the Navy SEALs get ready to go do a mission, they not listening to Lil Baby. When they training to go to war, which we're training to go to war, they ain't listening to NBA Youngboy. So Coach Saban trained us like that. We should be focused on what it takes to execute the next play, not who's on the ox, who's pressing play. I've never seen the military get ready to go on a crucial war mission with NBA YoungBoy playing in their heads or in the background. I tell the guys all the time, if I got to play music to get you to play the game you love at a high level, we've got the wrong guys. To me, this is a business, and we got a job to do at a really high level. Where these guys are trying to go individually, you ain't got a lot of time to be out there dancing and all that stuff, in my opinion. No disrespect to the teams that do that. That's their prerogative. But, we're on a mission. And when we hit the field, it's business. We only get 15 opportunities. And if a guy's got time to dance and sing a song and all that stuff, then we ain't moving at a good enough tempo in practice. So we are focused on what do I need to do to execute the next play. When the ball snaps in the game and it's 50,000 people yelling, NBA YoungBoy ain't playing. We need to try to replicate game-like situations. Everything we do in practice is replicated in a game. That's why we tuck our shirts in. That's why we run through the lines. That's why we go with fast tempo. Why would you do something in practice that you're not going to do in the game? I've never heard NBA YoungBoy or Lil Baby playing on third down. All I've heard is the fans yelling, and I should be zoned in on my task. So we try to do that by giving them the focus and intensity in practice, to focus on what matters.
In these times during the NIL, I'm Nick Saban to the bullshit. I'll retire before I deal with the bullshit. We are living in a time where discipline doesn't exist. People want results now. People want success now. And the kids don't even realize that it's hindering them more than it's helping them. The music selection doesn't even mean anything. But we're living in a time to where people are addicted to the device that they're holding in their hand. It ain't nothing that parents can do about it. Coaches can do about it. Pastors can do about it. Teachers can do about it. This cell phone and this addiction to having access to music and creativity at the palm of your hand is the new crack. I feel bad for coaches because these kids aren't going to listen. That's my conclusion on this topic at hand with the NBA, with this coach situation, this Memphis situation. Memphis is a city that has been targeted by the system. The system that America and capitalism lives on has had a major impact on Memphis, Tennessee, and it's sad to see. Real talk. Let's move along in the conversation, man. Big Meech was on Ice Wire Vezzo's platform. I took a few notes, you know what I'm saying, because Detroit is a place that is, it means something to me. I rock with the 313. I rock with the Bad Boys and the Pistons. I rock with Hungry Howie's when I want to go get me a slice when I'm in Detroit. When I head to Detroit, I'm on 7th Mile. That's the block that I might be on. Detroit to me, the Cardis, the Buffs, the Inspiration, the mink coats, the cold weather. I'm going to tell y'all something. Cold weather niggas know how to dress flyer than any niggas on the planet. Them Chicago and them Detroit boys and them New York boys, they cold weather niggas, so they got to layer up. The niggas that's in the cold weather, they know how to get flyer than anybody else. So Detroit is a staple in the culture, and it means a lot. Big Meech is from Detroit, and he took that game that he got from Detroit to Atlanta. He did his first interview, and I feel like the perception that 50 Cent gave to the world and all of the foolishness that Little Meech was getting involved in kind of hindered what Big Meech was trying to bring to the game. But Big Meech came on Ice Warvezzo platform and he gave some free game. Let's listen to it.
I'm gonna tell you like this: the guy with nothing that know everybody is the one.
It's the one. Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That's,
Break that down a little bit.
and the reason why I say the guy with nothing that know everyone, like he's a guy that maybe certain guys that's big in that city may have running around doing certain things and moving, but he never get his due. And you know, that's what I seen a lot of, no matter what city I went to. You know, your right-hand man don't got shit.
Yeah.
All my niggas look like my right-hand man. No matter where they from the day ones to the ones that just got on board. So it's a difference. I want my dudes, my people, period, to enjoy the same things I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can't do it to my
Level,
extent, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I can turn around and run out of money and be like, hey, let me get 50,000.
Yeah, nigga got it, huh?
Yeah, right. He
Yeah.
got it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, man, when you gonna give me that back? You know, or he don't got it, so I can't ask him. So you know, when I say nothing, it's like those be the ones that know everybody, just haven't had the chance.
They just
And
need the
you
right
put-
opportunity.
I know certain dudes in my family that everybody used to put a gun in their hand because they know they gonna get out.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm talking about before my family, whether it was robbing or whatever. I never liked robbing, even though it's part of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I never liked that. So I was against that. So I always used to say, until I did it, that same person you giving the gun to, you give some work to. Put him on his feet. You see what I'm saying? And I did that. And the dudes that did get down like that turned into millionaires.
You know, I want to say something about that because listening to this episode with Big Meech and Ice Warvezzo, I realized that they was going to have a lot of street conversations because Big Meech wasn't a rapper. He wasn't an artist. He was a connoisseur of the streets. And listening to that, it gave me a perspective of thinking about my time in the streets and when, I was the little nigga, and then it gave me thoughts when I was the big nigga. Just because what Meech said about helping your people evolve and making sure that your people is eating with you, that doesn't mean that people are going to be loyal to you. Ain't no such thing as loyalty in the streets. You may want to believe it. You may want to perceive that that's the case, but it's not the case. Real talk. And what I want to say to what he's saying is that the person that knows everybody, that has the access to everybody, is always the person that you want to have on your side and on your team. Is true. And most of the time, that's a female. Because the female knows all the plugs. She knows all the junkies. She knows all the little runner street niggas in the street. And she's the one that's going to put or have access to everything. So whoever has access to everything is the one that has access to the most money. That was free game from Meech. Real talk. Meech also talked about on this podcast the implementation of Make It Rain. You know, I never thought about that because I never been a strip club connoisseur where Make It Rain came from. But I remember times when Meech was throwing 250,000 in the club. He was making it rain in Magic City. He had the Tigers, the ice things, the ice. I remember he had those little ice pieces that said his name and everything at his birthday party, at the Dope Boy birthday party. But Making It Rain is something that I wasn't a connoisseur of, but it was something that people made songs about. It was something that people found value in by throwing money at females. And he had something to say about it and the creation of it that was very interesting. Let's get to it.
On the pole
That's when
tree,
they was doing them pole tricks.
man,
all
they was
kind of
doing
shit.
everything. White Chocolate had the best pole dance. So,
Yeah.
that I had ever seen.
Tell me this though, right? How the fuck did y'all come up with making it rain?
Because the ones was garbage. The ones and the fives was
But
garbage.
how did how the fuck did that happen
I'm
though?
finna give it to you. The ones and fives was garbage. You gotta remember, I'm plugged in with big cartels, Colombians or motherfucking Mexicans.
Yeah.
So back in the day when we first started fucking around with the Colombians, they won't take no ones and fives. So when you getting 100 bricks at a time, you know, getting front 100 bricks at a time, you got to keep all the ones and fives.
Oh,
now,
shit,
the
yeah.
jewelry store not gonna take. They're gonna take them only so many times.
Right.
Then we try and walk around with hundreds and 50s so we don't look like drug dealers.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to go on. Just take $5,000 in ones and Foot Locker.
Yeah, that shit looks stupid.
And see how long it's gonna take, because they got understand they gonna count it. They ain't not gonna weigh it or none of that. They're gonna count one for one to make sure.
Up
You
to
know what I'm saying?
5,000, yeah.
And so it's only so much cars and jewelry that they'll let you have. Meech, I can't take no more. Meech, T, I can't take no more ones. So now you stuck with them. So you look up, we got garbage bags full of ones and fives. So guess what we can get rid of them at?
Strip
club.
club.
They pay their bills, they pay for the kids, look out for the kids,
Yeah.
everything. Do that. So if I got $350,000 worth of ones and fives, we gonna go throw the $350,000.
So basically, making it rain was giving back.
Damn.
Right. Right.
and finding something to do with
Look
the
at
ones.
the Chamber Brothers.
Yeah, they had. Yeah.
Look at the video they did.
I remember that video.
in the
Yeah.
80s. And they threw the
Yeah.
one. What we gonna do with all this?
That's crazy, man, that they was getting so much money they couldn't even spend it. Me, to be honest with you, I would have kept them ones, nigga. That economy, you know, a lot of people get their ego fulfilled off of that. Man, I would have kept them ones. Nigga, I'd have had millions in ones just sitting in the house. Or they would have been buried somewhere until I could have used them. That was a statement that a lot of people will say, damn, they was really getting money. They was doing this and that. But, you know, hustling is to get out of the streets and to create something of a value that's going to remove you from that lifestyle. What I want to say in closing about this Big Meech situation is that the perception of him, these comics and stuff, putting these skits out on Instagram is interesting. 50 Cent counseling the BMF is interesting, and Lil Meech and all of the stuff that he's involved in with his snitching allegations and him cheating on Summer Walker and all of that old type of stuff is interesting. But Big Meech, they devalued your historical experience that you created, and you was an inspiration. You still is an inspiration to people that is participating in those activities. It's just that listening to you speak, nothing more came from that. Real talk. I want to move along in the conversation. You know, this young guy, I didn't know nothing about him. I'm a Chicago Bulls supporter. I didn't know nothing about Jaden Ivey until this situation came up on the internet and they removed him from the team, and his response went viral.
They said my conduct is detrimental to the team, right? Why didn't they just say we don't agree with his stance on LGBTQ? Why didn't they say that? Well, how is it conduct detrimental to the team? What did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? I did nothing but practice with them, play with them, pass the ball to them, good teammate to them. Said good job, good shot. I said good job, good pass, way to play, bro. Right? I said these things to my teammates. Was never detrimental to them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team? How? Because I believe in the truth. Because I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. How? How is my conduct detrimental to the team? Because of what I believe. Because of what the truth is. This is not about me. This is about the kingdom of God. This is about the truth of the Bible. Because I spoke what the truth is. Because I called these things out. Because that's what it is.
You know, I got another clip. I'm gonna finish up with, you know, what he was saying along in there, but I want to tell the youth something. He's on fire for Jesus right now. He's just having an understanding about the Bible, and he's just now reading the Bible, and he's on fire. One thing that businesses don't condone is anything detrimental to their income. You talking about things and you're not producing in a manner that's going to produce over what you're talking about. We got to let you go. And I probably would have let him go also. But I want to say something. He is saying that his belief is the truth. A lot of people will agree with him because they believe that what is in that Bible is the truth. Prove it. That's all I got to say. Prove that belief is the truth. Prove it. Make it something that we think about it. The Chicago Bulls been building this franchise for before his mama was born. Are we going to put our franchise in a detrimental place because of what you believe in? Are you going to do that? Is your pastor going to do that? Come on, nigga.
The word of God will be preached to all nations, and then the end will come. That's what's going to happen. My conduct is not detrimental to the team. That is a lie. That is a lie. How is my conduct detrimental to the team? But like I said, like I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove. God gave me gifts to play basketball. God gave me gifts. I can play basketball. I'll still be able to play. Lord willing, he gives me an opportunity to play again. And that's fine. If he don't, that's fine. I'm gonna glorify him. But what I've done, like I have nothing to prove. The NBA was what it was. But you see, before I came to the Lord Jesus Christ, the NBA was everything to me. I didn't know God. I didn't know Jesus when I came to the NBA. I was a fornicator. I was a pornography addict. And I used to get drunk. That's all I knew. And after a win, I felt good. After all those points, I felt good. I felt good. I felt like I had everything set out for me. Right? But as soon as that shut down for me, as soon as I didn't start, that's when God was humbling me. And he said, he sat me down for a reason. What good is it driving the store with the Ferrari you only get to drive that Ferrari for the time being. You're not gonna sit and drive a Ferrari for 10 hours. When has anyone driven a Ferrari for 10 hours? No one. But still, like what good is it gonna do for you on Judgment Day if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ and you don't obey his commandments? It's not gonna do no good. It's not gonna do no good doing your will, trying to win championships, and you not doing the will of God. That's where many stumble. That's where many don't know the real Jesus. That's why you got Steph Curry and he not even surrendered, and y'all believe he's a Christian. Y'all believe he's a Christian because he wrote Philippians 4:13. Y'all think he's a Christian. But he cursing just like the world.
We are now about ready to go, so please take your seats, fasten your seatbelt.
Friendship with the world is enmity with God. He's friendship with the world. He don't know Jesus. And I pray he comes to the truth. That him and his family will be saved in Jesus' name. Because
Salute to the young brother. Let me give him a round of applause. The reason I'm giving him a round of applause is because he has good intentions and he's on fire for the Lord. That's a great thing to see. But he talks about glorifying him. He speak of the NBA as if it's a past tense situation. I do not want to hear him on Colin Kaepernick time talking about he wants to get back into the league when the league don't accept him no more. The disrespect to Curry and saying that Curry is not a Christian is interesting because nowhere in that Bible is religion mentioned. So religion isn't going to get you to heaven. If heaven exists, which no one has proof, it's a belief. What's interesting is that Christianity was looked down upon because it's an organized thing in the Bible. It's organized. God, he wants you to acknowledge him, not acknowledge a group of individuals. That is a way that you can control individuals. Religion. I wish this brother well. I wish him much success on his path in life. And I salute him for standing on what he believes. Real talk. Hey, hope y'all enjoyed this episode, man. It's the Trevor Jackson Podcast. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. And I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.